The world of global trade is always changing, but every now and then a shift comes along that doesn't just make ripples, it rearranges the entire landscape. The EU just triggered one of those shifts. It's called CBAM, and no, it's not another boring tariff or quota. It's a carbon rule, and it means the price of almost everything, from steel beams to fertilizer, is about to hinge on one simple thing: its carbon footprint. So, what is this new rule that's catching businesses from China to the US off guard? And what are the surprisingly simple steps to get ahead of it? Let's break it down. 1. What is CBAM, and why does it exist? At its heart, the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, or CBAM, is the EU's clever fix for a problem called carbon leakage. Think of it this way. For years, the EU has made its own companies pay for their carbon emissions through its emissions trading system, ETS. But that created a pretty obvious loophole. What's to stop a company from just moving its factory to a country with zero carbon tax, making the same stuff for cheap and selling it right back into the EU? That's carbon leakage. The pollution still happens, it just gets outsourced. CBAM is designed to slam that loophole shut. It's a carbon fee at the border. It forces importers to account for the carbon emissions baked into the goods they bring in. The goal is simple: make sure a product's carbon cost is the same whether it's made in Brussels or Beijing. It levels the playing field and gives everyone a very good reason to produce things more cleanly. 2. Who does this affect? Don't be fooled. This isn't just a headache for a few companies in Europe. CBAM has a truly global reach. If you are importing certain goods into the EU, this applies to you, no matter where your headquarters are. For now, CBAM is focused on the big emitters, sectors that are both energy-hungry and likely to move their operations. We're talking iron, steel, cement, aluminum, fertilizers, hydrogen, and electricity. So, if you're a steel producer in Turkey, a fertilizer maker in North Africa, or an aluminum exporter in China, your European customers are about to start asking some very pointed questions about your carbon footprint. Suddenly, your manufacturing process is directly tied to your product's price in one of the biggest markets on the planet. 3. The surprisingly simple reporting steps. Okay, so here's the shockingly simple truth from the title. For now, this is a lot less scary than it sounds because the rollout is happening in 2 phases. We are currently in the transitional phase, which runs until the end of 2025. During this time, you don't have to pay any carbon fees. The primary job is simply reporting. Importers have to submit a CBAM report each quarter. It covers 3 basic things. First, how much of these goods do you import? Second, the embedded emissions in those goods. That's the pollution from making them and the electricity used. And third, any carbon price you already paid back in the country of origin. This is key because it's designed to avoid making you pay twice. That's it. This phase is a giant data gathering exercise. It's the EU's way of getting everyone comfortable with the system before the real costs kick in. But be warned, while there are no carbon fees yet, there can be penalties for failing to submit accurate reports on time. Then comes the definitive phase on January 1st, 2026. From then on, the training wheels are off. Reporting becomes an annual, verified process, and importers will have to buy and surrender CBAM certificates to cover their imported emissions. The free passes that EU producers used to get will be phased out, making this the new standard for everyone. 4. The bigger picture. A new global game CBAM isn't just another climate policy. It's a power move that reshapes the rules of global trade. By putting a price on carbon at the border, the EU is creating a massive financial incentive for the rest of the world to decarbonize. The message is clear. If you want to sell to us, you need to start thinking green. And it's already making waves. Countries like the UK, Canada, and the US are now looking at their own border mechanisms, which could lead to a climate club of nations all playing by similar rules. Of course, the policy has its critics. It sparks tough questions about fairness, especially for developing nations. They may not have the resources to clean up their industries quickly and could see their exports to the EU take a hit. So what should you be doing right now? If you import any of the targeted goods into the EU, now is the time to get moving. Don't wait for 2026. Use this transitional period to your advantage. Start digging into your supply chain and gathering emissions data. Understand exactly how your products are made. Many firms are already offering CBAM health checks to see where you stand. Getting out in front of this is the single best way to protect your business from future shocks. CBAM might look like just another government acronym, but it's one of the biggest shifts in trade policy this decade. It's reconnecting the act of making something with its impact on the environment, and it's doing it on a global scale. It's the first real blueprint for a world where a product's carbon footprint is just as important as its price tag. This isn't just an emissions rule, it's the start of a whole new ballgame.